Now then, so this might be a little bit confusing later on, but I've decided to put this film together backwards. So what I did originally was I showed you how to make this book, and then I talked about the paper that goes in it. So I'm going to do it the other way around. So if later on I'm saying when I make the book, it might look a little bit confusing because it's like, well, he's already talked about that, he's already done that. But I think it makes more sense to actually talk about the paper, because that is the point of putting this together, is to use recycled paper and card to draw on instead of having to buy loads of expensive art materials. So yeah, so the point of this is to be using and experiment with different things. So, you know, whether pen works with on a certain paper or pencil or something, that's for you to go hunting around the house and find, you know, ask people to save stuff, don't chuck it away before you've had a look at it, and see if you can draw on it. So yeah, like I say, I'm doing this one backwards really. So I hope you're not too confused when I keep saying, you know, later on you'll see, when you've already actually seen it. So, right. So I hope you enjoy. So as you can see, I've got a pile of stuff here. Now, there's a few things. What I'm going to do is explain the papers and what will work and what won't work. But the best thing to do is you test it. So if you've got ballpoint pens, just get a little bit on the corner, try it with a ballpoint pen. If you've got felt tips, ballpoint pens will write on probably more things than felt tips will. If you've got permanent markers, if you're allowed to use permanent markers and you've got them, they will write on a lot more things than felt tips. The gel pens, if you've got a gel pen, they write on a little bit less than ballpoint pens. But the best thing is, and pencils, obviously, if you've got a pencils, which you should all have pencils, they write on different things again. So what you need to do is just practice, just test a little bit out. So obviously things like the brown paper bags that the craft bags came in and the drawing bags came in, they're really good for drawing on, which you won't be able to hear a word I'm saying because I'm rattling. So they're really good for drawing on. Pretty much anything will write on them. We've got, this is some packaging. Now, the paper it's on is great, but this stuff, it won't, not a lot will write on there. So just be wary of that. I'll leave the cardboard till the end. Yeah, this was a bag that a pizza came in. That's really good. Brown paper again. Different type of brown paper. I'll go to the top camera. If you can see, it's a little bit shiny. So felt tips might go not work. But if you look on the inside, can you see that's the outside's shiny and the inside's matte? Now we'll get a lot of that. I'm going to talk about that right now. Just a bag that in fact I'll turn it the right way around. What came in there? Sausage roll, I think it came in that bag from a bakery. Obviously another one of those. Now this is the kind of box that we'll have a lot of. This is so I've got some fish in that one, obviously Ritz, Boost ice cream, and with Quaker Oats, that's cereal. Now the outside is really shiny, so not a lot will write on there, but the inside is brilliant. It's a really good card for drawing on, is the inside of this box. Pretty much anything you've got will draw on the inside of the box. So yeah, just keep these things because they're absolutely brilliant. They're a nice thickness. They're just nice to draw on. You can even paint with watercolour paints on the inside of these boxes. Absolutely lovely. And they're just off white usually. If you look, let's open this one up so you can see the inside. Try and open them up so there's usually a seam. Here we go, look. There's a seam down there. We'll try and open them up in the seam so you get as much card as you can out of it. I've torn that quite badly. But that nice grey tone is lovely for drawing on. Absolutely brilliant for drawing on is that. So a lot of them are grey or the white. This one's like a white one. What's that coloured inside there? There you go. That's just a mixture between the white and the grey, a bit paler grey. So absolutely great is that. Now menus. This is a menu. As you can see, it's really shiny, so not an awful lot will write on there. But do you remember me talking about painting the cover of my book? I've painted this with gesso, which is an acrylic medium, but you could paint it with emulsion paint if you've got emulsion paint, and that will work just as well. But you can actually paint these with emulsion paint and then draw on those. So that's always a really good option. And you can even paint that onto the shiny surfaces of these boxes of your, that's quite a shinier one, and that one's quite matte, that one. So you can use both sides of that one. Then there's packaging like this. It's quite thick, so it's going to fill up your book when we start showing you how to do the book. You'll see that we have to put a crease down the middle and then fold it round, and that will fill them up. But it's still quite good to draw on. Is that type of like this? It's got a nice little texture to it. You can hear that, so that's always quite good. Tissue paper isn't particularly the best thing to draw on, as again, some of it has a shiny side, some of it has a matte side. It's just too thin. Like toilet paper is really difficult to draw on, and what's the other one? Kitchen towel. It's quite difficult to draw on, but it does have its own qualities. So give it a go. You never know, you might like it. And that's the whole point of what we're doing today, is just go around and test loads and loads of different things in your house. Obviously make sure you're allowed to first. And I'm going to finish talking now, but there's one thing I'm going to say, and this might sound really obvious, but it's something that you might just overlook. If you actually have just some paper, you can put your paper in your book. So I've got these big sheets of paper, and I'm going to cut these down into my book, and these are the first ones I'm going to show you. But you don't really need a book. You can just, you can just get your box and just draw straight onto your box and keep that. That'll be absolutely fine. I just thought it'd be nice way of keeping everything together is to make a little book to put it in. Okay, right, we're coming to the end, and so I've only really got one more signature to do, so I'll push that in, just sort that in like that, and then I'm going to put my template one right in the middle. Well, it's technically not in the middle, but it's the middle string because it was the last one that went on. And as you can see, look, can you see that there? It's quite hard to get in because we've got all the extra pages in there. So just persevere it will go in. And some of the pages, if they don't go in because you've got too much stuff, just chop it off so it's a little bit shorter, like this watch. So these were quite a bit shorter than the others, but they fit really well. Like that. There we go. There we are. Now, there's the book. It's picking up some mucky bits from my mat because my mat's rubbish. I need to get a new mat. So this is the finished book. This is a little bit of the bag. Can you see that this is the bottom of the bag that I cut off? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to fold that in half. And as you can see, that's tiny compared to all the others. But we can still put that in our book. So you can just pick any one of your signatures, any one of your bits. I'm going to use that one because it's a bit of a... No, I've mixed them up there. Here we go, that one. Now you can do it from the back, or what as I'm going to do, which I think is easier, do it from the front. So find the middle and just slot that in. And this is one of the things that I think is absolutely fantastic with this kind of book, is no matter what size piece of paper you've got. Oh look, I've left some handles there, so I'll rip them out. Rip that off. No matter what size piece of paper you've got, it can go in this book. And it's all recycled. This is all paper, well, apart from the first few pages I put in, apart from those. This is all paper or card that we've got from recycling. And it's ideal for drawing on. Different, like I said, different textures, different patterns. I'm going to paint some of these pages with me gesso to make it so I can do pretty much anything in the book. But I think it looks quite nice. I think it's got quite different sizes, different textures. This would work well with a journal. And like I say, once you get quite a lot in there, it kind of holds itself together. So thanks for viewing, viewer.
Okay, so I'm hoping that this isn't all a bit too confusing, because obviously you've seen the book before you've seen how to make the book. The book being this fella, yeah. So the next film will be how to put the book together, and it is really quite simple. It's going to be such a short film. All right, so thanks for viewing.